What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my beginner's tutorial on circles. I just want to thank you again for tuning in to today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And of course, be sure to join the Discord channel. I'll have a link in the description below. Right now I'm doing a poll on my next ship build, which is going to be running as long as I'm doing the tutorial on the Enterprise D. The day that the Enterprise D is finished, I'm closing the poll. So be sure to join the Discord. When you do, click on next ship builds. This way your voice can be heard and you can vote on the list of current ships that I have. Now, if there's a ship on that list or not on that list that you'd like to add, you can go on another tab on my Discord under build suggestions and you can post your suggestions. This is going to be the only place that I'm going to be taking suggestions on my channel going forward. I'm not going to be taking suggestions on the YouTube, and the reason I'm going to be doing this is to keep all of my suggestions in one place. This way people can actually go in and upvote them. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into today's episode. So as you see, I've made 3 different examples, and I've generated this based off of things that I see people doing when they do their pixel circles. I'm going to show you what to do, things to avoid, and this will help you in building out your pixel circle where you will not have any mistakes. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. So first, you're going to want to go on Google and type in pixel circle generator. Once you do, pull that up and you should come up with something that looks exactly like this. You're going to have a width and your height. So let's go ahead and enter in 55 by 55. Now there's a specific reason I'm using this number 55, because it's giving us a center. You see there's an x-axis point. That's what I call the cross here. It's an x-axis point. This is vital to our builds because anytime you're building your ship, you want to have your x-axis point there in place in case you want to add more rings to your circle, or just keeping everything centered. I can't stress enough how vital this x-axis point is, and doing it in a straight line as well. Just like how we have here in this example. So let's say that you kind of mess up and you do 54 by 54. If you notice here now in the pixel circle generator, there is no x-axis point. So you can honestly enter in any number. It does not matter. As long as you enter in a number, the top and well, first of all, if you want a perfect circle, you want to make sure that your height and width are exactly the same. But you want to make sure that you're entering a number in that's giving you this gray block on all 4 corners. Because we're going to count this block when we're determining our center, but as far as building our circle out, it's considered a dead space block. So we're going to go ahead and start this thing out now. But before you do, and this is another error that I see people making almost every time when they start working on these things, that I'll see somebody will comment or they'll post on the Discord and they have something that looks very similar to this. Now, I don't know if you can spot out where they made the mistake. We'll come back. I'll let it sit here for a while, let you try to figure out where that error is. But when you're working on your pixel circle generator, most people will just go and they'll start working off this whole entire pattern. That's a mistake, and I don't like to do that because that opens up the biggest margin for error. So when I tell people, hey, imagine your circle if you cut it into 4 pieces, which ironically, which is exactly what we have on Minecraft here with our x-axis point, and then to the left, it's already been cut in 4 pieces for us. So you don't even have to imagine it because it's there. Don't even think about these other 3 pieces. Just think about this upper right hand corner. This is all you need. You can build this entire circle with just this upper right hand corner, because you're essentially going to repeat the same process a total of 4 times. Because if you take this pattern and flip it over to the left where it's mirrored, you have the same exact pattern. Same thing if you take this pattern and flip it downwards where it's mirrored, same pattern. Same thing to the right. It's mirrored, same pattern. So that's why I say that you only need one side or one corner. Another thing that you can do, instead of building one corner at a time, in other words, you build out this whole side and then this one, and then this one. What I like to do and this is something that saves myself from making these mistakes, is I do a little bit at a time. So this is going to get us into using our x-axis point. So your dead space block, you're not counting that, you're counting everything after that. You're going to want to count out 27 blocks out to the left, 27 blocks out to the north, or excuse me, going upwards, and then 27 blocks to the left, 27 blocks down. Or if you don't feel like doing all that for your initial ring, another thing that you can do to get around that is just do the left and right side. Do them at the same time. So you have your pattern of 5 for the first row, so you do 5 on this side, 5 on this side, then 2 rows of 3, and then 2 rows of 2. So you do 2 rows of 3 and then 2 rows of 2. They have 7 singles. You do 7 singles here, then 7 singles here. And then the process repeats, but instead of going to the left, it's going downward. So you do 2 rows of 2 going down on the right, 2 rows of 2 going down on the left, then 2 rows of 3 on the right, and then 2 rows of 3 on the left. Then final row is 5 and 5. As long as you do that, you can't make a mistake. That's why we're putting these rules in place, to prevent ourselves from making a mistake. Now let's fix the problem that we have right here. It doesn't seem like it, but just by missing that one row of 3, it messed this whole row up here. Other than that, you didn't make a mistake. And maybe you didn't notice what mistake they had made. But this is why it's so important. One of the rules is say, go back and check your work. So if this situation does happen to you, the easiest solution is, again, because you're only working off of this upper right hand corner, forget about all the other 3 corners, even though it's the same pattern. Just work with this one to make life easy. Go back and count it. Count each row to row. And you're going to find your mistake. Because if you look from the left to the right, you can see that this 5 and 5, they match up. This first 3 and 3 match up. Then you go this next row, uh-oh. That's 2, but this side's 3. There's your mistake right there. This is how you solve that problem. Now you don't have to delete this whole thing, but what you will have to do after this first row, after the first row of 3, you're going to have to delete everything after that to fix that. But that's how you do that. So we're going to be moving on now to inner circles and outer circles. So now we're going to go into our pixel circle generator, and originally we had 55 by 55, but we want something a little bit smaller. Let's do 45 by 45. Again, we're going off that same rule. You want to enter in a number that's going to give you that x-axis point. Once you enter that in, now this is where your center is going to come into play. Because one of the things I used to do on my tutorials, and I think this is one of the reasons I mess people up, is because I tried to do the counting for you. So, like, let's say that we were using this as a template for our enterprise, and I tell them in the tutorial, hey, so your next inner ring, you're going to go back and you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and on the 5th row, this is where you're going to start your ring. This was a mistake, and I probably should never have done that. But I did this to try to save everybody time. But as I've gone and I've been going through my tutorials series to series, I've realized that I just need to show everything that I do instead of saving time. Whatever time it takes to get through it, this is what it takes. So anyway, let's go ahead and determine our center here. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you even start building this is now we have our new dimensions entered in on the pixel circle generator, 45 by 45. So you're going to go to the very center here. Again, this is a dead block. You are not counting this block. If you count this block, you're going to have a mistake. So without counting this block, we're going to count out, starting with the next one, until we get to this gray one. But we are going to include this gray one because it's our counting point, but it's not necessarily included in the pattern of the circle, even though it is, because that block is actually right there, or right here. So without counting the very center, let's count out to the right until we get to this block and including this one, which will give you 22. That's your starting point. This is how you determine your center. Does not matter what the dimension is. So let's go back to the original one 55 by 55. Without counting this dead center block, that's going to give you a 27 block space. For funsies, let's just count it out just again to double check, make sure our work is correct. So again, without counting the first one, don't even think about it. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, which is exact center for our inner ring, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm telling you, this is the basic bread and butter of building your circles out. You follow these rules, I promise you, you can never ever make a mistake. And if you have, go back through these rules, double check your work. I promise you, as you go, this stuff will stick and you'll be able to spot out your mistakes on your own without even needing this tutorial series or tutorial video. But if you need to, feel free to watch this episode again, because I'm putting this up to help everybody. And I'm hoping that this information will be valuable to people that have been having problems with building circles. And I'll be honest, building circles on Minecraft, whether it's a circle or an oval, it can be tricky. Now, what I can tell you is that all the steps that you've seen me take here, you can apply this to working with your ovals as well. The same rules apply, which is why I'm only showing you one today. Because everything that we've done on the circle, again, we can apply that to the oval, with an exception of probably one thing. So let's do 55 by 65. That's not ovally enough. Let's go 55 by 75. Really, there's not really that much of a difference there, except the width is going to be shorter than the height. So this is a perfect example of a very close shape to how the Enterprise D would be. So with the Enterprise D, this is either your front or back, and this is your front or back. This is the left or right side, this is left or right side. But the same exact rules apply to everything that we just went over. Again, you only need one of these corners, and you're going to repeat that process again 4 times. As long as you do that, you can't make a mistake. Unless you build out this exactly how it is, but let's say on this side, you flip it and you basically turn it to where it's building out this way. In that case, you can probably make a mistake. So again, just make sure that you're mirroring as you're going grid to grid. So you consider that the 4 grids. You want to make sure when you're going down, you're mirroring downwards. When you're going over to the left, you're mirroring this way, and the same thing when you're going up this way. But I think that's about gonna do it for today. I can't foresee any other issues that you're going to run into. It's pretty straightforward once you learn the basics, and I've included all the tips and tricks that I use when I'm building my own circles. This is how I do it. This is why my circles look so perfect when I'm doing them, as well as my ovals, because I'm taking the time to count out my centers. Now, one other thing I can say before we close out today is that going forward, this is actually how I'm going to be doing my tutorials, including the centers, because again, this was a fault to my own. I tried to save people time, and rather than telling them the centers, I just tried to tell them their starting points. But I think what could have been a mistake there was that I believed that everybody would have the same exact circle that I did. And I think that's probably what caused the errors. And that's the main reason why I'm telling you guys today how to define your centers and your starting points. So this way, no matter what dimensions you're using, you can always have your perfect circle in place, because you're establishing your center and you're establishing your starting points. And as long as you do that, and you do just one corner and repeat that process a total of 4 times, you're good. I promise you. And just remember, if you do make a mistake, go back, double check your work. But I think that's going to wrap us up today. I pretty much included everything that I could possibly think of on what you need to do on your pixel circles, as well as your ovals, to eliminate errors, and everything that you need to do as well. I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in today's episode. And if this content was helpful for you and you did enjoy this video, hey, help me out. Hit that like and subscribe button. I can't thank you enough for that. New subscribers, Don't forget to hit notifications on so you get notified when those new videos drop. And speaking of new videos, you can always catch my new Minecraft episodes dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for me today. I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in today's episode, and I hope everybody has a happy and safe weekend. And of course, I'll catch you in the next episode. And what did you make in Minecraft today? Hey, let me know in the comments section.